Hey everyone, I'm Key,
And I'm Teddy,
and
and
you're
you're
listening
listening
to
to
The
The
Listing
Listing
Lounge.
Lounge.
All right, you guys, so today we are going to talk about our favorite zip codes here in the Charlotte area
hmm
and the up and coming zip codes.
Yeah, Charlotte has changed so much. You're born and raised in Charlotte.
Yeah.
I've been here for about 5 years now, and only in the last 5 years, even though it's kind of a short amount of time, Charlotte has changed tremendously since that first day that I drove up here. And I looked around and I started crying because I was like, what is this? But now I love Charlotte. So let's start with our favorite areas, and then we'll kind of talk about new developments that have surprised us, and then we'll end with up and coming areas.
Yes. So I would say my favorite area definitely is Waxhaw. I've had my eye on Waxhaw for a couple of years. Now, it's funny to say because it's like, okay, you don't like Charlotte, you're from Charlotte, but Waxhaw is so, it reminds me of pre-Charlotte a little bit as far as the quietness, but the homes are gorgeous.
hmm
They are so beautiful. They're massive as well. And I don't really have to worry about going across the bridge to get there. Like Lake Norman is nice too, don't
Yeah,
get me wrong, but Waxhaw, it has a special place in my heart.
I like Waxhaw. I do like the more quiet, slower areas. I think my favorite areas in Charlotte are between Huntersville and Lake Norman because I really feel like those are like the epitome of perfect suburban life. Um, I think if I had to choose one city to settle down in and like live in the rest of my time in Charlotte, it would probably be Huntersville because everything you need is right there. You're super close to Lake Norman. I love going out on the lake, especially during the summertime, and the houses are beautiful. It just gives like family vibes out there. So I like Huntersville.
I would say Huntersville is really nice.
Yeah.
I remember I went to Hopewell High School, and back then it was a little country. It's a little country. I remember horses randomly popping up at the school and they're just galloping
Not the
around.
horses at the school.
Yes, girl, it was giving Wild Wild West. But what it's grown to be now, it is. I can see it's very serene. So I get exactly what
Mhm.
you're talking
Mhm.
about. Even like a lot of plantation, they have the lake there. And of course, you have the history there, but there's actually a horse stable there too. You can take some riding
I love
lessons. Yeah, and
horses.
it's so nice. Yeah, Huntersville's it.
That's
Yeah.
beautiful. That's like beautiful living. Okay, now we're going to talk about developments that kind of surprised us, or areas that have changed since our time in Charlotte. So I'll let you go first because I know what I'm going to say.
So what surprised me the most as far as transformation and up and coming is definitely Camp North End.
Mm.
So back in the day, it was not what it is now. So and it kind of like snuck up on us. Like I remember as a kid, of course, like there was small transitions coming along, but it wasn't nothing drastic. It was very slow paced. So maybe this house is going down and they're clearing this lot, but we still had like our local um, supermarkets there. Everyone knew each other, and it wasn't as pristine as it is now. I remember Double Oaks, the swimming pool there in the area.
Oh,
People
there is
just
a swimming
there was a swimming
pool.
pool,
Dang.
yes. And every summer, all the kids would just flock there and hop in the pool, have a good time. I almost drowned at that pool when I was a kid. It's a random fact, but like it was the way it is now is like a complete 180,
hmm
but I love it because it's very eclectic. So if you go to Camp North End, you have of course this reconstructed area and it's just so unique. You can go there and watch movies for free. They have all these nice restaurants there that you can go ahead and grab some great bites. The festivals, the garden, everything.
I
It's
love
just
it.
it's really nice. It's different. So
Yeah, they kind of tried to make it like a one-stop shop. I
mhm.
love the little restaurants in there, and you have to get out the car and walk around Camp North End because there's so many cool businesses, and I feel like Camp North End also highlights small businesses because
Yeah.
there's like an ice cream shop in there.
Mhm.
There's a record store, like vintage record store. So there's some really cool places if you just walk around Camp North End. And they have Mad Miles there. It's just,
Oh yeah, Mad
yeah,
Miles is so popular
it's
here.
jumping.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so the development that I feel like has kind of surprised me a lot is within the Uptown area. Now, I moved here during COVID, and Uptown was kind of like a ghost town. And people were saying that Uptown was dying, and people only came this way to go to the office, like go to work and then go home, and people would go out into the suburban areas. But I feel like the life in Uptown is coming back, which really makes me happy because I love Uptown. And I feel like people are not having to choose between living in Uptown and living in the suburbs now because a lot of developers are coming this way, and they're building some nice new construction homes like right on the outskirts that are more affordable. And then one thing that was major to Uptown is the epicenter, which unfortunately was shut down shortly after I moved here. Hate that I missed the epicenter area, but they are trying to revive it. I'm pretty sure it's called Queen City Corner, but they're putting in new restaurants, new bars, lots more businesses to keep people attracted to that area, and hopefully some clubs because we need like more nightlife in Charlotte,
We do.
especially for young professionals. It's not too many diverse places to go out. But
Mhm.
yeah, the epicenter used to be jumping from
It
what I
did.
understand.
It was. It was like a club from all the way downstairs, upstairs, every level. You was just you didn't have to worry about not finding something to do. The epicenter was the place to go. So even though I'm glad we have some restaurants coming along, I 100% agree. They
Hmm.
need to do something to give a little bit more diversity for the nightlife scene.
Yeah, because if
Yeah.
you don't live in South End, which South End is a big nightlife area, I feel like South End has kind of become what Uptown was supposed to be.
Yeah.
But if they bring more places for us in Uptown, then it will really be the place to be.
It will. I remember back in the day, oh my God. Even with I think we had 935. If you're from Charlotte, you remember 935, you know what I'm talking about. Or Club World, that was even by the Music Factory. We just had so many options. Now it's kind of like you really have to scavenger, like hunt to
Hmm.
find something to do and where to go. So I would love for that to kind of like speed up a little bit and then also showcase some diversity for the age range. Okay.
Yes.
So 30
Yeah.
plus, or 25 plus, they have where they want to go. And, it's still, nice and bumping. It's not giving snooze. It's just everyone has an opportunity to have a great time besides just eating. We love the food though. We love the
Yeah.
food, but we want to, dance a little bit, give a little 1-2 step.
Still some room to grow, but Uptown is getting there. They're working on getting Uptown back
Yeah.
up and running like it used to be.
Yes.
So let's talk about like the most popular areas to live in Charlotte, especially when we get out of state clients. Like, what are the main areas that people ask you about, or that you would kind of, I won't say steer because we're not legally able to do that, but if people ask you, like, oh, what are some good neighborhoods in Charlotte, what would you say?
Everyone is definitely asking me to just stay downtown. They want to be as
Mm-hmm.
closest to the center city of Charlotte as possible. So everyone is either wanted to be on that or the south end side, like further down, going up North Tryon.
Yeah.
Um, those are the hot spots. What I'm surprised about is that I don't have a lot of people asking me, "Hey, I want to move to like Mid Hill or Matthews," because Matthews is really nice as well and it's
I
growing.
agree.
But everyone wants to stay in Charlotte, which I don't blame them, but it's different.
Yeah, I think people want to be within Charlotte itself. And apparently it's a thing here where people are like, that is not Charlotte. If it doesn't say Charlotte,
Yeah.
it's not Charlotte. Which I didn't know that people had beef with areas like that. They're like, oh, if you're in Concord, you do not live in Charlotte.
Yeah.
And me coming from Chicago, because there's not really much outside of the city of Chicago, if you live 30 minutes away from Chicago, you tell people you're from Chicago. But Charlotte does not play that. So if you live in Concord, you live in Concord, not Charlotte. I think that the main areas that people ask me about are Huntersville, um, Ballantyne. I get a lot of questions about Ballantyne area,
Oh yeah.
and South End is really big too,
Mm-hmm.
for the younger people and people who don't want to drive to work and they want to have like a lot of public transportation. South End is a really good area to live because you have the light rail, and most of the places there you can just walk. You don't really need to have a car to get around.
Yep. I would say that too. And Huntersville is definitely growing. What also perplexed me was beforehand, a lot of people like Waxhaw, like the Weddington area, Marvin was
Hmm.
very, very popular and it was very esteemed, or like where the wealth will live. Of course, and Lake Norman as well. But I've heard a lot of people moving from Lake Norman coming across the bridge because of the complaints about the traffic on the bridge, the tolls, etc. Which I
Yeah.
was surprised to hear about that. But they do have a lot of new construction going on there and in Troutman, which is also surprising too. Um, but I thought that more people would be more interested in like the old school kind of, I guess, idea of Waxhaw Island, Marvin, Weddington. But no, everyone is like moving away and wanting to come to Charlotte. So I was
Yeah.
like, okay, okay.
I think one of the things that I love the most about living in this area is that even if you do go on the outskirts, Charlotte is going to be maybe 20 minutes away. You're still
Mhm.
not that far to where you feel like you're completely separate from everything. I think traffic is a big thing for a lot of people just because if you have to worry about a morning or evening commute, it can be a lot. Traffic is kind of getting rough here. It just depends on the time of day that you're driving. But yeah, I can see why people want to be in Charlotte because
Yeah,
they don't want to deal with that traffic.
yeah,
And if
yeah.
you're looking to relocate to another state and you don't know where to go, that is definitely a question that you can ask your realtor. If you're not sure about the city, like it's okay. We kind of know certain stats in certain areas, especially when it comes to price point or just like what it's like, what's the vibe like. So don't be afraid to tell your realtor that you have no idea where you want to go because that's what we're here for.
Yes. And we're going to show you all the options.
All the
Yeah.
options.
And also inquire about what your, I guess tell us what your favorite activities are because we can
Mm-hmm.
make sure that we are well aligning you with whether you love to go on the boat, you love to go boating, or you love to go fishing, or you don't like to drive. You love food. You want to be able to get to your supermarket within 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever the case may be. We are well versed and professionalized, and we've been here long enough to understand and know, okay, what would best fit for you and to make sure that we're getting you in the most comfortable area.
Yeah. So we came across an article in Axios, and they were
Yes.
talking about the most up and coming areas in Charlotte. And we're going to talk a little bit about that because it was kind of surprising the areas that are getting popularity. I think South Charlotte has been super popular for the last few years, but people are kind of branching out as they move from different areas and people are looking for different things when you're coming from different states and you're also used to different things. So we're going to pull up the article and we're going to talk about I think it was two different counties that were surprisingly high this time around. One was Rowan County
Mm-hmm.
and one was Iredell.
Mm-hmm. So, as you already know, or you may not know, Iredale is like Lake Norman,
Mm-hmm.
Morrisville, Troutman, etc. So, again, I think a lot of people have been so interested and intrigued about moving to Lake Norman, but it's so packed. And also, you still want to be in the area, but you don't want that cost. Troutman has been growing significantly. There's a lot of new construction within that
Yeah,
area,
and it's nice.
and it's not that far away. So,
Yeah, and I also think that a lot of people work from home now too. So they're like, I don't really need to be in the most populated area. I don't mind being on the outskirts. And that's what we're seeing that the home values are increasing in these areas that used to be considered like the outskirts or just kind of like more rural areas. They're really building these areas out, and people are able to move further out but still have all the luxuries and the amenities that you're looking for a lower price point.
absolutely, absolutely. And of course, Mecklenburg is so huge, but there you can go anywhere. I would like to see some development and some growing in Pineville. I thought
Yeah,
Pineville was going to be one of the first areas to kind of like pop off just because you're not too far away from Ballantyne, you're not too far from really of the other like popular areas. But I haven't really seen much growth, within that. A lot of people have kind of forgotten, I feel, about Pineville. And I'm just like, oh,
I like Pineville. It's
I
cute.
like to. I think besides Waxhaw, if I could move anywhere else, it would be Mint Hill for sure.
Yeah, Mint Hill is
Yeah, it's
nice.
so
Mint
nice.
Hill is nice.
Yes.
Another area that's changing a lot is like Gastonia.
Mm-hmm.
They're really building up Gastonia, and I don't want to say the homes are cheap, but they're definitely more affordable, and they're building some really nice houses out
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Also Concord. So I did
there. Mm-hmm.
recently connect with some local developers within the area. They're young professionals that are adorable and they build beautiful homes. But I was surprised to see Concord, like deep in Concord, like the city of Concord, where the um, the law offices are, the courthouses are.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of reminded me also, if you're from Charlotte, or if you've been around the area, if you're going towards Freedom Park, you know how if you go down that long road, you have this gorgeous homes and of different kind of like builds on either side. It kind of reminds me of that in Concord, like going towards the courthouses and stuff like that. And it's so pretty. And surprisingly though too, I did see some signs for sale out there, but I think this is kind of like the time to snag a home, and then before
Really?
it gets like crazy expensive and
Yeah.
starts booming. So I think a lot of people are sticking on Concord.
No, Concord is nice. I mean, you have literally everything that you need. You don't need to go anywhere outside of Concord. You have the outlet mall over there.
Yeah.
You have Concord Mills, tons of restaurants, tons of shopping centers,
Mm-hmm.
Super Target. You don't need anything else. If you live in an area with Super Target, I mean, you really don't need to go that far to get
That's so
to get
true.
anything. And it's a very nice, like family oriented area, which
It
I like.
is. It is. And again, the beautiful thing about living in Charlotte is you're really about 10 to 15 minutes to 20 minutes at most
Yeah.
away from everything. So every little city that we're talking about is not that far. And the back road connects to pretty much everything, trust me.
Hmm.
So, yeah.
So if we had to break it down to like, I guess, let's do top five.
Okay.
Top
Ooh.
five areas in Charlotte. This is just our personal opinion, by the way.
Yeah.
But if we had to like give someone who wasn't familiar with the city, who's thinking about moving here, what are the top five neighborhoods that we would recommend them to look
Myers Park.
at? Myers Park is
Yeah.
good.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna say Ballantyne.
Yeah. Um, Myers Park, Valentine. I say Providence, but it's like kind of like the same thing. Definitely South End.
I was gonna say South End too.
Yeah.
Dilworth.
Dilworth.
I love Dilworth.
Yeah.
Dilworth is very quaint.
Yeah.
It's very vibey. And the houses kind of give like a historical, like old school feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Super cute neighborhood. I love Dilworth.
So now, okay, this is hard. This is hard.
We got one more spot.
You know, we're just gonna give it to Mid Hill, just because
Okay.
Mid Hill is growing and you have some gorgeous homes out there. You still have a lot of land in between the homes, so you don't have to worry about sacrificing the lot size for the area or your home.
I
What's
think
it?
those are good five, and those are
Yeah.
like all kind of different areas too. So there's a little bit of something for everybody, depending on what you're looking for.
Mm-hmm. That is so cool. Oh my gosh, that was tough.
I know there's so much in Charlotte or around Charlotte, and you really just have to take the time to explore.
Mhm.
So, I guess my advice would be if you're looking to relocate here, try to plan some trips if you can. Like maybe start looking a year in advance and give yourself some time to really come down, explore the different areas, spend a little bit of time in each one, and see how you feel about it. I'm someone that's moved to a new state sight unseen, so I know sometimes you don't have the opportunity to do that and you have to just kind of settle somewhere. So that's where we come in, where you can set up a consultation with us and we'll listen to what your needs are, what your desires are, and help point you in the right direction. But if you have time to come and take some trips, I definitely recommend it because there's so many different little cities here.
And we'd be more than happy to, help you guys figure out where to go. So just
Hmm.
contact us. We can show you around even and get to know you. You can get to know us and we can, give you the taste of Charlotte.
Yeah, we don't mind doing that. I actually have a client that is moving from California and she booked her flight. She sent me her dates that she's going to be here and we have an itinerary planned out. So we're just going to spend like 2 or 3 days going around the city, seeing what area she likes. She has no idea anything about Charlotte. So I'm going to be her tour guide, which I'm excited.
That's
That's fun for
exciting.
me. Yeah,
I
so
love
I love it.
that. That's gonna be so much fun.
Yeah.
I think that's even better too because you're really getting to know for one your agent, and then also you're getting this curated personal experience of Charlotte and the great prospects of where you can live.
Hmm.
So it's very again personalized, which is the best part of it all. And it's very intentional. I love that.
Yeah.
That's gonna be fun.
I'm excited. I can't wait till she gets here. And I'm sure it's going to be like really different coming from California to
Yeah.
Charlotte. I mean, she's definitely going to be saving some money moving here, but yeah.
Okay, so just as a random question, I guess like um a special buzz. What would you say was your favorite visit of Charlotte? I guess like as an attraction, was it Carowinds or like what would you say that you had a good time? Okay.
Ooh, y'all. I haven't been to Carowinds yet.
Oh, it's okay. I'll be honest with you, you're not really missing anything.
I really
But
like, I haven't done the best job of going to tourist attractions. I definitely need to get out more. I think a lot of the stuff I go to is more
yeah,
social
yeah.
events, and I haven't just explored Charlotte. I have not been to Carowinds yet, and I really need to.
Well,
That's
we
sad.
definitely have a lot of social events. We have that for days, you know. So I actually think that's really good too. And just
Mhm.
as like a local, I had to start getting more involved in the local activities here because as I mean, just because you're from here doesn't mean that you are aware of what's going on within the city. So you have to get out there and like spend time and go to these events to actually see, okay, this is what's coming up. So you're not like left
Yeah.
behind,
I
so to speak.
guess I guess if I had to pick something, it would probably be the sporting events because I feel like the city's so easy to navigate and it's super easy to get to the games here. I've gone to some Panthers games,
Yeah.
and Bank of America Stadium is super easy to navigate. Hornets games, I love how you can just like get a ticket same day and go to the
Mhm.
stadium. So
The Duke Mayo event was really good.
yeah,
That was so much
yeah,
fun. So next year, you guys should definitely look out for that ticket. It's just
yeah.
so much fun. You get a curated experience, great food, and you get to be out there on the field.
That was a good time.
That was. I would recommend for the summertime, everyone you have to go to the right white water rafting center.
Oh yeah, I still
Yeah,
need to do that. I
so
haven't
much
done that either.
fun.
I really love that we have lakes here though. Lake
Mhm.
Norman and then Lake Wiley, which is I guess that's South Carolina, but it's so close. I love being out on the lake, and I feel like Charlotte has like a huge lake culture.
It does. We have a lot of lakes. We have Lake Wiley. If you love fishing, definitely get out there and go on
Hmm.
the lake. Or even during the summertime, explore the beaches. We have a lot of beaches.
Yeah,
So take that drive. It's only like maybe 2 to 3 hours, but we have so many beaches and that are beautiful, and each one is just completely different. You'd be amazed. So
that's another good thing about living here. If you want to go to the mountains,
yeah,
like 4 hours away. If you
yeah.
want to go to a beach, 2.5, 3 hours, super close to Atlanta. There's so many different things. You can go horseback riding. Um, there's just a lot of different scenery that you can experience, and it's right down the road.
Yes. One thing I recently found out about too was that we have like a hot balloon festival. I didn't even
What?
know that. I know.
I want to
I
do that
know.
too.
I'm like, how cool is that? And it's only like a 2 hour drive, maybe. But I'm like, who would have thought that you could do all of this in North Carolina and not too far away from
Hmm.
Charlotte? Like Charlotte is in also the perfect weather. I
Yeah,
mean, literally,
it's a little cold right now,
yeah,
but I mean, it's reasonable. The
it
weather is
is.
reasonable here, and we get to experience like all four seasons too,
Yes.
which I love.
I'm glad we got a little bit of snow. I was begging for
Mm-mm.
that snow, even though it lasted not even 24 hours, but I was happy.
I didn't ask for it, but I had to. I had to deal with it. It wasn't bad though. Literally, it was melted within 24 hours. So
It
that's one
was.
thing that I
We get a little sprinkle, a
like.
little sprinkle.
So we're gonna definitely do some episodes where we have like developers come in, and I guess people who are in new construction so they can talk about different developments in Charlotte. If you're looking for different areas or different incentives to move to different areas, we'll bring in some experts to talk about stuff like that for people who
Hmm.
are looking to move here.
Yeah, we have so much good stuff coming for you guys.
Yeah. But before we wrap up today's episode, we do have another lounge letter.
We sure do. Tell us how you guys feel about our lounge letters too. We want your input. We want your feedback. So yeah.
You can write us. We have our email address in the description, and I believe it's in our bio on our Instagram profile. It's contactthelistinglounge@gmail.com. So if you want to send us a lounge letter, and again, this can be from a client perspective, this can be from a realtor perspective, lender. If you're in the industry, or if you just had some type of experience with a real estate deal that you want to tell us about, write us. We'll keep everybody anonymous
We
and
promise.
we'll include it in the next episode.
Yes.
So, this lounge letter is about an experience with an animal,
Oh God.
and it is from a listing agent. So, we're going to get into it. And I've definitely had some crazy experiences with animals when it comes to my listings, or even on showings. I've seen crazy animals. So, I related to this story. So this one is about a realtor who had a listing and they were hosting an open house. And they went to set up the open house. She says she took all of her stuff inside the house. She has snacks for the people who are going to be attending the open house, just going on about her business, setting up. And you know, as agents, when we go to our open houses, you have to turn on all the lights in the
Yes.
house.
Yeah.
So, for those of you who don't know, when we do open houses, there's a lot of prep work that actually goes into it. We have to set up early, so we'll come in, open all the blinds, turn on all the lights, make sure the house is nice and tidy. So she was doing that, and she says she went into the bathroom.
Oh my God.
She went into the bathroom, turned on all the lights, and she looked down into the toilet, and she saw something floating in the she saw something floating in the toilet.
Oh my God.
And just out of the corner of her eye, she was like, "Oh no, somebody,
Yeah.
used the bathroom. They
Uh-huh.
didn't flush it." So she goes and she reaches to flush the toilet, and it's not it's not from somebody using the bathroom. There's a dead mouse floating.
Oh my God.
There's a dead mouse floating in the toilet. And I don't know about y'all, but I'm scary. Okay, I'm scared of anything that's not a dog. I'm scared of birds. I'm scared of rodents, cats. I can do horses, but I'm scared of a lot of different things. So apparently, this agent was scared too, and she packed up all her belongings and she went back to her car and she sat in her car for the remainder of the open house, praying that nobody showed up because she was scared of the mouse.
That is crazy. I don't know what I would do. I'm like, is there another mouse? Is there a cousin somewhere? Where's
If
the
you see
sister?
one mouse, there has to be another
Oh
one
yeah.
nearby. Like,
Oh
I
yeah.
don't blame her for packing up all her stuff. But she said that thankfully the open house was super slow, so she spent the rest of the day in her car waiting for people to come in. And then when the open house was over, she wrote the owner and told them that they had a mouse infestation in the house. And the owner was like, "Are you sure it was a mouse?"
Oh my
And
God.
the owner asked her, "Did she remove the mouse?" And she was like, "No, I was scared. I just left."
That is crazy. I
And
wouldn't know what to do within that situation. Oh
I
my
think I
God.
would have did the same thing. I would have left.
I would, yeah, and just waited for someone else to come and then we go in because who's to say that it had a sister or brother and some nieces and nephews and all of a sudden you get attacked. When I think about that, honestly, when you gave that story, remember that scene from Martin when they were on vacation and that big rat was attacking Martin? Oh my God, I can't. I can't. But stuff like that happens all the time. You know, I'm gonna have to insert a clip. Oh my
And
God.
then, what do you say to prospects when they come in the house and they see a little mouse scurrying across the floor? Like, how do
Yeah.
you play that off? You're just like, "Oh, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
It'll be handled by the time you move in." Like,
Yeah.
no, that's a done deal. Nobody's gonna want that house. So,
And the crazy thing is, this is not the only crazy story that I've heard about some kind of like animal encounter for an agent. One agent said I heard one story, she had to protect her clients because her clients and herself was getting attacked by a hawk. Attacked by a hawk. And the hawk actually tried to close the door, but didn't close it enough time. Soon then, the hawk was on the couch staring at them. I'm just like, what would you do
oh
in that
my
experience? I would be
god. I
petrified.
might have had to let my license expire after that. That is crazy.
That is
A
so
hawk?
crazy.
No. But a dead mouse floating in the toilet, like that is honestly traumatic. I don't know. I've seen animals in houses before, so I think my craziest experience was I was doing a showing and we heard a weird noise coming from upstairs in the closet. And so we opened the closet. It is a bat.
A bat?
It was a bat in the closet. And again, I'm very scary. So I was like, I can't do this. Like, I think I'm going to just step outside and I'll let you guys look at the rest of the house. And my clients were ecstatic, y'all. They were so excited over this bat. They were like, "Can we catch it? I want to catch it." I was like, "You know what? You do you, but we will be wrapping up this showing very, very soon."
I'd be terrified. Don't they carry like a
They
certain
have
disease? They have rabies.
rabies.
No, you sure you want to catch this?
They were trying to play with the bat. So
No,
realtors, we be going through a lot of stuff. I mean,
you'd be surprised. I think the crazy story I've heard. I mean, it's not dealing with an animal, but one agent, she was saying how when she went to an open a house to show her clients, and she went upstairs, it wasn't an animal, but it was people. It was apparently a couple that was staying there, and they didn't think or didn't know that someone was going to come. So she opened the door while her clients was downstairs, and as soon as she opened the door, it was a naked man
oh God,
staring at her. And his woman was in the room too. So apparently they were having fun. They were having some getting to know each other time. And she instantly screamed and ran downstairs and was able to, of course, get the police to come and get them escorted and stuff like that. But I'm like, who would think as an agent you would have to worry about being, confronted with a nudist? Like,
and was the house furnished?
It was not furnished. It was not furnished.
Ladies, we have to have higher standards.
Yeah.
We have to have higher standards.
That is so funny. Oh my gosh.
That was too funny. But that was our second lounge letter. So thank you for sharing that story. And we're going to continue including them in our solo episodes. So again, if you want to write us, you can DM us on Instagram or you can email us at contactthelistinglounge@gmail.com.
Yes. Well, thank you guys for tuning in. I again am Key to CLT or Kiara Burton. You can catch me at KEYTOCLT on Instagram.
And I'm Teddy. You can find me on Instagram at TeddyTheRealtor_, or you can follow us both on the Listing Lounge podcast Instagram.
Yes. Thank you so much for tuning in, you guys, and we'll catch you on the next episode.
See you next time.
Bye.
Niggas want me to get ratchet. Niggas want me to attack it. Put the hood on, they're telling me cashes. Aren't you like Bob Saget? Greedy, I can't pass it. Eating everything, nigga, no fasting. I don't care how much you knew me in the past tense. I ain't no Julia Styles, this ain't no last dance.